Introduce my new fabulous co-host, Michelle Mooney, who is not only going to be my co-host here at Holding Ground moving forward, but she is also the newest therapist at Anchorlight Therapy Collective. So just to give you a little bit of background, I met Michelle in our graduate school days. We were both interning at a community mental health clinic, and we hit it off right from the start, and we had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs, which is not necessarily easy to have. So Michelle, thank you so much for being here.
Laura, that's such a lovely introduction. Thank you. I'm so happy to be reconnected with you, enjoying Anchorlight Therapy, and also thank you for asking me to co-host with you. This is really exciting. I started working in mental health in 2016. I really started to notice themes with clients, and a lot of what they were experiencing and a lot of, symptoms of mental health that they were having were connected to past experiences, and it was getting them stuck, right? So a lot of my work is getting clients unstuck from the trauma. And one of the things that I use to do this is a therapy technique called EMDR, which stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing, which can...
So we'll just stick with EMDR.
EMDR, right. That's what we're going with, because that's a mouthful. But that, can really help remove that imprint of the trauma and help people get unstuck.
So Michelle is a trauma specialist, and I am a couples therapist. And so when I was thinking about bringing another therapist into my practice, what would really complement the work that I'm doing was a trauma specialist, because that's where in relationships we people get really stuck, is that, they're having problems in a current relationship, which really is rooted in a past relationship or in their childhood. So Michelle was the perfect complement to what I was already doing.
I like to think of therapy as people not bringing problems, right? They're bringing stories, and stories can shape us, and they can, get us stuck like we were talking about earlier. And the thing about therapy is you get to tell those stories in a safe space and really get to understand how those stories impact you and how they're affecting you today. And it's also important to remember these stories don't have to define us, right? We can always rewrite these stories and narratives to redefine ourselves.
Yes, and I agree. I am never bored listening to anybody's stories or problems. Therapy is a process, and I think that's really important for people to know. I think sometimes people think they might come in once or twice and say, well, how come I don't feel better yet? And sometimes it does take a little while, that we do have to rehash the same thing over and over so that you can heal and reframe that experience and make new meaning out of it. So that is really important. I will say, if your therapist is ever trying to push you forward, it's not because they're bored of listening to you, but our job is to try to help you get unstuck. So if I do find that a client has been in the same place for a long time, and we really have looked at this information at all angles, at that point I want to start exploring what is keeping them stuck. Why is there some resistance to moving forward? So it's not about me being entertained, but just wanting for them to see results.
Yeah.